Most gardeners give up on composting long before they ever see results. And honestly, who could blame them? The endless rules, the heavy lifting, the smelly piles that either rot too fast or sit there lifeless. It's exhausting. I know, because I've been there. For years I built bins, layered scraps and leaves, watered, turned and waited, only to end up with sore muscles and very little compost. Then I discovered a method so simple, so natural and so effective that it transformed my garden overnight. No pile, no hauling, no turning, just soil doing the work it was made to do. Since then, I've never gone back, and I never will. What I'm about to share isn't theory, it's tested, practical, and it works better than the best-maintained compost bin. Once you understand it, you'll never look at composting the same way again. On paper, composting sounds easy. Toss in scraps, add leaves, keep it moist, and eventually you'll get soil food. But the balance they tell you to maintain, 3 parts browns to 1 part greens, is nearly impossible for most home gardeners. In summer, where do you even get that many dry leaves? Miss the ratio and your pile either stinks or stalls. Even when you manage a decent pile, you're still left with the back-breaking job of turning it in the heat. And once it's ready, you have to shovel and haul it all back into the garden beds. That's when it hit me. Why am I doing all this when the soil can compost for me, right where plants need it? Look at a forest floor. Nobody's layering browns and greens, nobody's turning piles. Leaves drop, rain covers them, and by spring they've melted into humus. The soil is alive and takes care of it all. That's the secret I leaned into. Instead of building piles, I started feeding the soil directly. A method known as in-place composting. Scraps, stalks and leaves go straight into the beds. The soil already has what's needed: air, moisture, microbes, fungi, worms and tiny organisms. All I had to do was give them food. The change was dramatic. Scraps that used to rot in a bin were vanishing into the soil within just a few weeks. No stink, no mess, just black, spongy earth that plants really thrived in. Compost piles rely mostly on heat-loving microbes. They work fast, but, they release a lot of nutrients into the air as ammonia and carbon dioxide. That's why piles shrink so much. In-place composting is gentler and more complete. Bacteria break down soft scraps. Fungi tackle the tougher stuff. Nematodes and protozoa feed on them, releasing nutrients right at the root zone. Earthworms do the finishing work, shredding and coating everything in nutrient-packed castings. The result isn't just decomposed scraps, it's healthier soil structure, more air spaces, better water retention, and nutrients locked in until plants need them. One of the easiest ways to start is trench composting. You just dig a trench about 10 to 12 inches deep, drop in your kitchen scraps and cover them with soil. In warm conditions, those scraps are gone in, 3 to 6 weeks. Worms will swarm the area, leaving behind nutrient-rich soil. To keep this method working all season, rotate sections of your bed, bury scraps in one area this month, another section the next. By the time you circle back, the first trench has fully decomposed and is ready to host new crops. If digging trenches feels like too much, pocket composting is even easier. Just dig small holes about 8 to 10 inches deep between plants, drop in a few handfuls of scraps, cover them and press the soil back down. As those scraps decompose, plant roots grow straight towards the nutrient pocket. Tomatoes, peppers and cucumbers respond especially well, putting out stronger roots and bigger harvests. A single bucket of scraps can be spread across several pockets, feeding your whole bed in little bursts. For days when I don't feel like digging at all, I go with surface mulching. I spread scraps directly on top of the soil and cover them with straw, shredded leaves or wood chips. The cover hides the scraps, blocks odours and discourages pests. From there, worms and microbes take over, pulling everything down naturally. Over time, the mulch itself breaks down into rich humus. It's like a slow cooker for the soil. Load it, cover it, and let time do the rest. Sometimes I want a faster nutrient boost for plants. That's when I make a simple compost tea. Fill a 5-gallon bucket with water, add 2 to 3 cups of chopped kitchen scraps, like banana peels, coffee grounds or soft trimmings, and let it sit for 3 to 4 days, stirring daily. When ready, pour the liquid directly around the base of plants. It's like an energy drink for your garden, delivering nutrients right away while the leftover scraps can go back into the soil. You know, while in-place composting is pretty forgiving, there are just a few basics that'll keep things running smoothly. Never, ever bury meat, dairy or oily foods. Those tend to attract pests and, well, that's just not what you want in your garden. Always try to go at least 8 to 10 inches deep when you're burying your scraps, so animals won't be tempted to dig them up. And don't overload just one spot. It's better to spread your scraps out in smaller holes or trenches. Oh, and remember, this method takes weeks, not days, so you'll want to give the soil a bit of time to do its magic. Turning piles isn't easy, especially as we get older. In-place composting, though, it really takes away the hardest parts of gardening. No heavy lifting, no wheelbarrows and no back strain. Just simple burying, mulching or pouring. All manageable tasks, really. Whether you garden in raised beds, containers or even large plots, this method adapts. You know, it saves time, saves energy, and well, it keeps you connected to the natural rhythm of giving back to the soil. I've seen it firsthand, and so have countless gardeners. For example, a Florida gardener buried scraps every 2 weeks in her raised beds. By the season's end, her soil was so soft she could dig with her hands. In Arizona, another gardener used surface mulching and, amazingly, cut her watering needs in half while her plants stayed lush through the heat. In my own beds, earthworms exploded in number, cucumbers spread thick and fast, beans grew darker and healthier, and tomatoes bore heavier clusters. My soil went from tired to teeming with life, and I never touched a compost pile again. This isn't laziness, not at all. It's working smarter, with nature instead of against it. Traditional piles lose nutrients and waste energy, you see. In-place composting keeps fertility exactly where it belongs, in the soil, ready for your plants. Worms, fungi and microbes do the heavy lifting, and you get to enjoy thriving crops without breaking your back. Trench, pocket, mulch or tea, whichever method you choose, the result is the same richer soil, healthier plants, and honestly, a more enjoyable gardening experience. Once you see the difference, you'll never go back to piles either. So if you're ready to stop struggling with compost bins, try this method. And don't forget, subscribe to Timeless Crops Haven for more senior-friendly, low-effort gardening wisdom, and share this video with a friend who's still wrestling with compost piles. Their garden and their back will thank you.